Welcome everybody to Live at Larry's number 9. Let me come around. Oops. Okie dokie. Hold on a sec. I think I might be writing a theme song for this show. Some type of Live at Larry's theme. I have it kind of mapped out. I gotta just kind of know what I want to do, and then I'm gonna write it, but I haven't written it yet. All right, today I'm gonna take one song, and I'm gonna go in depth on this one song, Tenderly. I was in the car the other day with my mom, and I heard this song, and some beautiful singer was singing it so tenderly that I thought to myself, wow, that song really is nice, tenderly. You know, I've heard it played many different ways, but hold on a second. I forgot to take off the. Oops, wait a second. I got to put on. I rushed to get here, and I wrote up this song. So I gathered like some sheet music on this song, Tenderly, and then I typed it out on just one staff, and 4 bars on a line. I'll show it to you. Hold on a second. So what I did was this. I don't know if you can see it. Right? So I have my way of. A musical piece, I believe, starts with a good, well-written piece of sheet music that I put the title here and with my name, and this one's in 3/4. The original, I think, is written in 3/4, 3/4 time. That means it's 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If it's in 4/4, 4/4 time, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I put like all this background stuff here. The lyrics are by Jack Lawrence and music by Walter Gross, and the copyright date was 1946. There were 2 artists that did this song, that recorded this song in 1947. They were the first ones to do it. The first one was Dick Farnay, and he was like a Brazilian singer-pianist. It was on July 2nd, 1947. I'm sorry, June 15th, 1947. I got to talk fast. I got to take my mom somewhere, and I'm got to get prepared for the Yom Tov for Rosh Hashanah. It's the head of the year. So, and then the second artist that did it was Sarah Vaughan. Actually, July 2nd, 1947. So June 15th, 1947, and July 2nd, 1947. About 15 or 17 days later, Sarah Vaughan did this, her own arrangement or something, and it was in 3/4. Dick Farnay, I believe, did it in 3/4, if I'm not mistaken. He had a beautiful way of presenting this song that was just so tenderly. It fit the title and the lyric. I'll read the lyrics to you in a second. But then Sarah Vaughan did it. I didn't quite like the 3/4, if that's what she did it in, or the rubato non-time section that she did. It was a little too heavy for me. It wasn't so tenderly. But yet when she went into 4/4, I kind of liked that for like maybe a solo section, for when I solo on it or whatever. But whatever, I listened to those 2 versions. I checked out those recordings. Then I kind of outlined the style of the piece, what it is, and then I put my keys. So the original, I think, is in E flat major, and I can sing it in E flat, but it's got a very high F. I could sing it, but I don't like it. It's not too comfortable for me. B flat is too low, because then I got the. But I don't like that note so much, so I moved it up to C. So I made C my key that I'm going to sing it in. Now I wasn't born with a very nice voice. I don't think. I don't think God blessed me with a good singing voice. But I practiced and I work on. I know theoretically music, so I understand what to do. And then I studied a little voice. I took a semester in college, classical voice in college, but I did not really.
I appreciated it, but I don't like classical voice. I don't like opera so much. I think it's kind of phony. That's just my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. And I like things to be natural. I don't like phony people, and I don't like phony anything. I like everything to be real and from the heart. And I always think that singing should be like an extension of speaking. So I don't know at what point, I'm still studying this, what point it becomes singing. I guess when you're starting to sing pitches, it's singing. But when we speak, we're singing pitches. I can talk to you down here, I can talk to you up there, wherever I want to. But I like when it naturally and organically transitions into singing. So sometimes, like, I liked Rex Harrison, I think it was, when he sang, and I think that's Dr. Dolittle, if I'm not mistaken. And he would sing things, and then he would sing pitches or here and there. But I liked it because it seemed real. It was like he was talking to me, and I liked that. So I'm just giving you my opinion from my experiences. Take it for what it's worth. I don't know, maybe some people might argue with me and everything. I know a lot of singers might have trouble with me. I'm someone who started on piano, who wanted to sing. I actually started on drums. And then me and my brother were switching around because he couldn't find his instrument. I was trying to find mine. I think he started on clarinet or something. And then I was on drums, and then I switched to piano because of the youth fair thing I had to play. And then he switched to drums, I stayed on piano, he stayed on drums, and he's switching to piano, and I'm staying on piano. But I'm still playing all these other secondary instruments to learn how they are and how best to play them. And I parallel all the instruments and everything. Anyway, so I wasn't born with a great voice, and I know that I checked my range. That's a low C. So I got 4 octaves basically. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? But I only feel comfortable, like say from this G. So like an octave and a half. That would be that high, that key of E flat with the F, and I don't really like to sing there, but I guess if I had to, I could. I want to build this arrangement from scratch. So I wanted to do it in front of you, and I just got all the elements together. I transposed it into the key of C. My mic's messing up here. And but check, test 1, 2. But I left it in 3/4. I didn't bother putting it into 4/4. Maybe it'll sound good in 4/4. We'll see how it develops. Maybe I might end up singing it in E flat. Maybe the climax of the arrangement might require that I sing that high F. I don't know. But I'm basically right around here. Okay? So I put it in the key of C. Let me read you the lyrics first. I don't know what this was written for. I tried to do my research, but I didn't have enough time. The evening breeze caressed the trees tenderly. The trembling trees embraced the breeze tenderly. Then you and I came wandering by, and lost in a sigh were we. Right? The shore was kissed by sea and mist tenderly. I can't forget how 2 hearts met breathlessly. Your arms opened wide and closed me inside. You took my lips, you took my love so tenderly. What a beautifully, nicely written lyric, and the melody's very nice, and it's very, very descriptive with all the adjectives and nouns of various things to picture, right? So now I'm taking it, this is how I view music, take it for what it's worth. I believe in using imagery to help convey the message of that lyric. So I'm going to try to find things pianistically from the vocabulary used on this piano to convey the message of the lyric. Now I didn't warm up vocally or pianistically. So I'm going to warm up in front of you. I'm just going to tell you what I do real quickly. I stick my tongue, I studied a little voice with that classical teacher. I got this other voice book called How to Sing and Speak Properly by Alan Green. I like that. I think Walter Matthau used that book. Felix, I've had enough of you. He has that. He used that to develop his voice and singing too. For speaking and singing, I think he had a very unique speaking voice, and he sang too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he may have even tap danced, if I'm not mistaken. So first, I take my tongue stick. I do these 10 exercises to strengthen the basic shape of my voice. I stick my tongue here and I grip and relax. Ha, 6 times. Ha, 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 ha. And I do it differently. I'm doing it a little fast for you now. I do like 6 counts for the first 2, 2 counts for the second 2, and 1 count for the last 2. But and I use 6 because God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. So I always try to, it says in the Torah, to know God in all your ways. So I'm trying to do that, even in my practice, because my voice is for Him now. I have to build a good voice for Him, because it ain't going to be for me. It's for Him. I'm here to serve Him. So, all right, so I did that. Then I take my tongue, I was in the front of the teeth. Then I stick it on the right side and the left side. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Then I stick the tongue out. Ha, 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 ha. Then I U it and go up. Ha, 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 ha. And I U it and go down. Ha, 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 ha. That needs a little work. Then I take my tongue, put it in my bottom teeth, and I stick my chin to my chest to open the bottom of the basic shape. Ha, 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 ha. These exercises were taken basically from that book, How to Sing and Speak Properly by Alan Green, with some variations. And my mom and dad studied with Fred Steele, 2 teachers, and Helen Hall. Fred Steele, Helen Hall. I think one of them taught Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. So my dad gave me some things. Now I do my dad's stuff. He told me to. And he's also was a saxophone player, so he knew how to breathe. He studied with Joe Allard, and he could do circular breathing and all kinds of stuff, and he had a beautiful sound on the saxophone. So I listened to my father when it came to how to do this, and he had a nice singing tone, I thought, when he was focused on doing that. He taught me to flutter lip up. To do that 6 times. Then I do top down and back up. And then he had me buzz. Like a trumpet player, sometimes it's an interesting instrument that you can actually play pitches with your embouchure, with your lips, and not so much with the valves per se. I don't know how to explain that to you. I'm not really a trumpet player, but I kind of got exposed to that, and I'm trying to figure that out myself. But so a lot of control comes from the lips. Okay, and then so that's it, right? 3, 3, and then 3, and then 1, 2, 3. There was 3, and there was another exercise. Oh, the shin. So now I got this basic shape. Ha, ha. And now I'm going to sing every pitch. What I usually do, I go. Do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li. Sometimes it's nice to have that high register. I went to college with a fellow who's a well-known singer nowadays, and I knew he had 4 octaves, and that kind of pushed me to want to get the 4 octaves. But now I feel opened. I also would play all the possible 2-note combinations, so I would go do, 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 di, do, re, do, mi, do, fa, do, fi, and I would go up the entire instrument. I do it from every C, and I do it from every D flat. So I do 2 keys a day for 6 days a week, and that opens me up, and then I feel confident. And I'm a piano player trying to sing, and that separates the men from the boys. I think that exercise right there I don't think there's a lot of singers that do that detailed type of practice where they do every possible two-note combinations. I have to do it scientifically like that because I don't have a very good voice. So I have to build my voice from scratch. And that's how I've been doing it. I think my voice is getting better. It's still not like Michael Bublé level or Frank Sinatra or one of these guys. I'm still not there yet, but I know that I can be if I keep practicing. And then I do long tones. I'll do four counts. I do the whole range, but I'll just do it from here. Ah, and I'll do vibrato for like. I'll do a straight tone for 2 beats, then 2 beats of eighth notes, and then eighth note triplets, and then 16th notes. So 4 notes. So it's like ah 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 ah, and I'm trying to work on that to develop a nice vibrato, and do that on my whole range. All right. Anyway, so that's the singing. So now I'm warmed up. The evening breeze caress the trees tenderly. The trembling trees embrace the breeze tenderly. Then you and I came wandering by, and lost in a sigh were we. The shore was kissed by sea and mist tenderly. I can't regret. I can't forget how 2 hearts met breathlessly. Your arms open wide and closed me inside. You took my lips, you took my love so tenderly. Now I feel confident. I think I'm hitting the pitches. It sounds in tune to me. Sometimes I'm a little off, but for the most part, I feel confident because I practice all that vocalizing every day, 6 days a week. Okay? I had to build for myself that type of voice. Other people around me don't like to practice sometimes, and they're just naturally endowed with a very nice voice, and they always pick on me and everything, but I think practice always wins over someone who has it naturally. I think because you have more control, you're more confident. All right, so that's the voice. Now, pianistically, I didn't practice. I have so much to practice, but I'm just going to do some scales. I'm going to swing some scales and sing them. I sing everything I practice at the piano. So let's see, I would put on like this, and I put it at, say, let's say I put it here at 150. And I try to swing like Duffy and Mike Gold and all these guys that used to, they have a certain swing feel. They bounce like a ball, like a ball. My teacher, Mr. Maggio, kind of phony up there in the falsetto. I don't like that. I don't like it on myself. I like it when I sing in my comfortable range and that's me. That's my voice. That's who I am. Up here it's fake and phony. I mean, it's still me, but I have to compensate and do things when, like, singers will tell you, oh, they gotta sit back or do this or do that with their voice in order to get the falsetto to be clean and clear. But I could tell when singers sing falsetto, and I don't like it. So, whatever. Okay. All right. So now I got to think of how do I convey the message of this lyric. And I have the chords in front of me. I wrote the best chords I could find that fit the lyric as best as I could. I wouldn't put some stupid chord in there that doesn't match the lyric. Sometimes sheet music is written out in such a way where they tried to find a chord that fits, but it might not be the best chord for the lyric. That also separates the men from the boys. You want to I want to make this sheep come alive. I want you to picture this scene. So it's a very tender scene, so I got to probably sing down in triple P, so it's like it's real soft. The evening breeze caress the trees. Now trees are up here. Trees are from the ground up, right? They're from the earth. Caress the trees. Some are very tall and high, all the way up to the sky. Tenderly, the trembling trees. Now I gotta somehow tremble. Trembling trees embrace the breeze. Tenderly. Then now it's probably so this is what's happening in the background. Then you and I came wandering by, right? So here all this is going on out there in the woods. I'm picturing this. Then you, like a surprise thing, maybe this chord, like a sus chord, it's a bitonal chord, an A flat over B flat. Then you and I could just stay on that chord, came wandering by and lost in a sigh were we. I can move chords underneath that. I'm holding that note, so I'm trying to lead to the next. I'm transitioning to the next lyric, the next part of the lyric. Okay, so I depending on where I'm going to end up, that's how I would transition to get to there. So I'm thinking I'm going back to this C major 7. The shore was kissed by sea and now I'm kissing it, but maybe the shore is down here, so it should be down here. So you got to think I'm trying to catch everything, and I'm under pressure, and I don't want to bore you. And I know this might be kind of uncomfortable for some of you to have to go through it like this, but I thought it's very educational. I don't know anyone that does this kind of stuff really. I play for a lot of singers, and I don't know how many of them think like this. I know they try to a certain degree, but then you need certain musical knowledge in order to complete the whole picture, and I happen to come from both, trying to sing and trying to play piano. So I think orchestrally, so I'm trying to share that with you so you can see that there are so many things you can do to help convey the message of a lyric. It doesn't have to be just aimless rambling that I see a lot of musicians do nowadays. Singers too, they just ramble aimlessly. They're just trying to fit things in that sound good, and yet it might not convey the message of the lyric. And an audience is not stupid. You know, I made comments, I was saying, you know, how to my friend Jody that on one of the other live at Larry's that on America's Got Talent, you got these 4 judges, and probably none of them really play an instrument, but they know what sounds good, or what moves them to tears when they get the chills up their spine. They know that they just heard someone convey the message of a lyric. Or there are other factors too. We'll talk another day about the transcendental tingle, the chills up the spine. I outlined that with God's help into 6 areas: spiritually, socially, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. You know, I heard Sarah Vaughan singing this song. I think she had to make some choices. She was so heavy during that 3/4 section that it sounded, the rubato section, it sounded like maybe financially the recording company was pressuring her. I want this here. And she was, you know, she looked young at the time. It was 1947. And it looked like, you know, maybe they had a grip on her and they wouldn't let her creatively do what she wanted. I don't know the story, but I could only guess. And I could deduce that from what I know. And then I look and I think, why is Sarah Vaughan singing it so heavily? It's tenderly. I didn't quite understand that. Anyway, so we'll talk about that another time maybe, but I want to get some arrangement on this done. I'm just plowing through it right now. So an audience knows, you know, they they intuitively know when something moves them to tears. If I nail this, maybe they'll be moved to tears. Maybe I'll move you to tears. Let's try it. The shore was kissed. The shore was kissed. Closer to the shore. By sea and mist, sea and by sea and mist tenderly. I want to do something different, so it's interesting. I don't want to play the same chord that I played before. Tenderly. I don't usually like to just play something above unless it has a purpose. I've seen a lot of piano players, they just echo what they do. And it's like a known thing amongst pianists. You can hear it in a lot of the older pianists from like Tatum and Art Tatum and what do you call the one that played with Benny Goodman, all these guys. I hear a lot of, they just echo, you know. So I don't know if it's so meaningful. If they knew the lyric, they might not echo. And I got to stop myself from letting my hand echo because I followed their teachings, and I rebel now because I think that's enough is enough, and now I want to put my foot down and become an artist. So I want to do it the right way. I can't so let's see, by sea and mist, tenderly. A lot of the modern writers of today, arrangers and stuff, they'll stick in all these wild chords. Like right there, I could see someone might go, whatever, but it might not fit the lyric. Maybe it does. Then you use that vocabulary to convey the message of the lyric. But the lyric is the boss. It decides what's going to be written. And especially if you're going to write for a big band or a studio orchestra, you don't want to waste a lot of time writing stupid stuff that doesn't fit the lyric. And make the musicians have to work so hard because you want the thing to be played. And if it doesn't get played, then what's the use of writing all that garbage? So I say less is more, think simply, and whatever. We'll narrow this down. I'll probably play it another 1 or 2 times to finalize how we think it should be. Okay, let's see. I can't forget how 2 hearts met breathlessly. Your arms open wide and that's not right. Your arms open wide and close me inside. You took my lips. There's only 2 lips, so, right? Are they that high up? Now, it's me singing. I'm a man singing, so it's probably my lips are down here. They ain't up there. You took my lips. Maybe it doesn't fit, so it doesn't sound so nice down there. Well, let's see. You took my lips. It's a guy singing to the girl. Probably it's a girl singing this to a guy. It sounds better maybe as a woman singing this to a man. But maybe if I did it in a certain way, I could pull it off. I don't know. Let's see. You took my lips. You took my love. Is my love that dark? My love. So tenderly. So some vocabulary. I'm thinking like dreamy stuff here, you know. Maybe I'll try it. Let me try it in E flat. See if I can. Maybe then I would modulate up. The evening breeze caress the trees tenderly. The trembling trees embrace the breeze tenderly. Then you and I came wandering by. That's nice. Like going in different directions, but then they meet together or something. I don't know. And lost in a were we. The shore was kissed by sea and mist tenderly. Hold the note so that the orchestra can move underneath. I can't forget how two hearts met breathlessly. Your arms open wide and close me inside. You took my lips, you took my love, so tenderly. Something like that. So I haven't decided on how that final arrangement should be, and maybe I shouldn't now. I just wanted to show you what goes into it. I don't know if that was any better, but I could see that, all right, it's kind of powerful in E flat. Maybe for the last chorus, maybe I do it first in C, down real tenderly, like I'm out in the forest all by myself, and then this girl comes along, and we meet, and then it develops, and then maybe I solo on it. Maybe I'll take, let me see how I would solo on it. Doesn't fit. I don't like the chord there. I can't figure out the right chord to put there. Maybe. Those Italian crooners do a lot of this kind of stuff. Alright, I don't know how I would finalize this yet, but those are just some of my ideas and how I broke it down. I hope that's helpful. And that concludes Live at Larry's number 9. Okay? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I didn't bore you. And maybe you'll get to use that for something, and it'll help your life. Alright, I love you. Have a good week. Have a beautiful Rosh Hashanah ahead of the year. And hopefully, I guess we'll be back. Sorry, we'll be back for the Karp family show, I guess, on Sunday night. Okay, all right. Enjoy. Have a happy and healthy New Year.